Man, what's happening? Good morning. Another beautiful day under the sun. Why do you think they be illusioning us, putting us in dreamland, Disney, princess, frogs turning into princes, and all other kind of nonsensical things? You know what I mean? From birth, from childhood up, everything always get Columbo always solved the crime. You know what I'm saying? Miss Fletcher always figure it out. Murder, she wrote. At the end of the show, everybody always learn a lesson and is happy. Most movies, even when there's tragedy, you know, it have a good ending. Now, you know, there's action movies where everybody get killed and shit like that, except one person or two people, something along those lines. But you know what I mean, man. And even that's a happy ending. Everybody gets murdered. Nobody makes it out. Why one person get out? How? You know, even that too, because they're the lead. That's the person who you following their character the whole time anyway. So, like, that's you. So they get to make it out, but nobody else. And in real life, nobody makes it out. You know, either a lot of people make it out or nobody makes it out. Shit gets resolved at the end of the show within a 30-minute time span, which is really less time than that, because they generally have commercials and shit, you know, where they used to. But you know, whatever. Shit gets solved, resolved. People talk. They get resolution. They talk things out. Everybody's always willing to talk, even when they're a narcissist, an asshole, controlling everything. They still somehow willing to talk and end up working shit out. And in real life, you don't necessarily get that. You know, that shit's hard. As much as I know it, as much as we know it, you know, sometimes it's just hard to accept, man. I'm trying to, you know, well, let me rephrase that. We got to push past that. It is what it is. Those people, if they was willing to compromise, they just call you and say, yeah, my bad, I'm sorry. I've grown. I realize the error of my ways. Or some kind of way you'd be able to talk. You know, you never get that. I want that. I be expecting that. You know, we've been brainwashed. And it plays a part in a lot. But we got to get out of that. If you're watching movies and shit, watch that shit for entertainment and be entertained and know that that ain't real. It don't work out like that. Usually, it don't never work out like that. Crimes don't get solved. A lot of shit is easy to solve because they know who did it. But, you know, when it's a mystery type thing, when they don't know who did it, they don't have no suspects, no witnesses, they ain't solving that. You know, usually. But that's something else. I'm talking about these people, these uncompromising, unwilling to compromise people that anger is always right under the surface. You really got to talk to them walking on eggshells because they have so many triggers. And, you know, we all have triggers, but how triggering are they, you know? And then some triggers are more fairer to understand than others. Somebody starting the pattern of misusing you is different than somebody just saying something that you don't like about a politician, or about Republicans or Democrats, or, you know what I mean? Just some general stuff that they're all opposing sides. It's Crips and it's Bloods. Shouldn't be either one. So, and we just train to accept that and just come, whenever we come together again, we just forget that until the situation come up again or whatever. But some people, man, I always knew once we fall out, that's it. It's most like, but you know, we still alive, but most likely ain't no falling back in. Once we fall out, we fell out. That's it. Like maybe forever. I just always felt that. Because I know I got to be careful what I say. I see your feelings getting, you know, starting to erupt. You want to go off in a, you know, like, say like, okay, this is the person. I just know, I sense. I guess I've seen him in a rage maybe, just not on me. I think I have. You don't see him in a rage all the time. But I know that rage is there. Rage is in all of us some kind of way, right? But not for the simplistic things, you know, and not in that way. That rage is there and it's waiting. It's waiting on you and me. Say the wrong thing. It's like eggshells, a volcano erupting. You just want to avoid it, and you want to keep the peace with this person, and the only way you can keep the peace is always avoid shit that you see is making them uncomfortable. Walk away from it, conversation-wise or physically, whatever. So if that shit is an issue or a problem, that's a problem for you, but that's just you. Tough. Deal with it. Forever. Don't never bring that shit to me. We don't do that. We don't resolve issues around here. So keep it to yourself, or it's gonna be some shit. And so yeah, I know. And then, you know, they pretty much cut me off. We cut each other off. I'm saying, I'm trying to talk generally to the people, but you know, this is how they do. We cut each other off in an agreement without a rage. I mean, you know, in a peaceful, very peaceful, very calm, ridiculously calm. Well, I mean, you're gonna get that, or you're gonna get that other one. I'd rather that, you know. And I feel for him, man. Just sorry. I feel sorry. I feel they're a sorry person to live your life being a slave for somebody else's. Somebody else's mind is in your mind. You're a clone. You're programmed to do their bidding and be on their team and be part of the code. And so, yeah, once you decide to have your own thoughts and ideas and get out of that cult-like setting, well, you're gonna suffer the consequences. And that's the consequences that I'm talking about. So, you know, if you can relate, holler at me. I'm gonna cut this. That's what's up. Hopefully I've said something that can make somebody's day a little more interesting or enlightened or whatever, or you relatable. Because we all be going through it, man. These people be. So, you can't talk to them. You're never gonna resolve it. There's never gonna be no resolve. And we just got to accept that shit. Even if you call them, like, you can't talk about the problem. Talking about the problem is a problem. You can't do that. So how you resolve that shit? And then the other things within that's a problem. You can't, you can't get nowhere. I don't even know, man. So, and we all not promised tomorrow. We all gonna breathe our last breath one of these fucking days. We don't know when. But there's no, well, I'm sorry. I wish I coulda, or something like that, because I can't. We can't. There's no resolve. Ain't no. So how you gonna feel guilty when you looking down on their ass in that coffin about, I wish maybe you wish you coulda, but that's about all. That shit's on them. You understand? That's what I got for now. Take care of yourself, man. And one man. Peace.